Greetings, dear viewers. I'm Coil Quickcard, and welcome back to Minecraft, where I am going to be attempting to beat hardcore mode without ever breaking any blocks. This is about the 15th or so time that I have attempted to do this. I've actually recorded several attempts, but unless you're using like Optifine, which I'm too lazy to install, Minecraft is surprisingly difficult to capture like smooth footage of, in all honesty. So I've basically thrown all of those out. So let's start from the beginning and I will explain what is going on. This is a hardcore world. If I die once, it's over. My goal is to defeat the Ender Dragon. In order to accomplish that, I will first need to make my way to the Nether Dimension. I will need to find a Nether Fortress, and I will need to kill Blazes, because I need to combine those with Ender Pearls that I will get from killing Endermen, who can show up in basically any dimension, in order to make Eyes of Ender. I use those in order to locate a underground stronghold, which contains a portal. I use Eyes of Ender to activate that portal, which lets me use that portal to travel to the End Dimension, where I will have a fight against a dragon. So the goal is to defeat that dragon without dying once. But also, along the way, I intend to not break a single block. This block of dirt, can't break it. This piece of grass, can't break it. Those leaves, can't break it. I cannot break any blocks. There are a few exceptions to the rule. Exception number 1, moving liquid in buckets is fine. Exception 2, I can use creepers to bomb specific areas in case I need to destroy blocks or to open up passages and stuff. That is okay. I cannot, however, interact with any block in a way that would cause it to destroy other blocks. Like using a piston to push something in order to break it, dropping a bucket of water so that it would wash away a bunch of like grass or crops or something, setting something on fire, using dynamite. Things like that will also violate the rules. If I break anything, I have to reset. Now, because I have done this several times before, I have a general understanding of the strategy that I need to follow in order to succeed. The first thing I need to do is look for chests. I can't break anything, so I can't get wood, I can't get crafting tables. Everything I'm going to get is going to have to be found in chests. So I am looking for villages in order to loot their stuff. I am looking for sunken ships so I can loot the chests from them. Potentially get buried treasure maps that I may or may not be able to excavate depending on the circumstances through the use of creepers. Desert pyramids, I can use creepers to break the floor and I can loot their chests. Pillager outposts, provided that they don't kill me, I can run up those and loot their chests. And I am also looking out for ruined nether portals, because they are a consistent way to get obsidian blocks, gold tools, weapons, and armor. And also, they have a tendency to have lodestones which I can use compasses on, and then the compass will always point to wherever that lodestone block was. So they are fantastic for navigation, and especially in the Nether, if I have the opportunity of placing a lodestone by my portal, I can have a compass that's just always going to point back to my entry point in the Nether, which can be a lifesaver. One of the big limiting factors, aside from the time it takes to actually find all the structures and slowly accumulate gear, is that when I am in the Nether in the end, I really need blocks. I need dozens, if not hundreds, of solid blocks. And obviously, that's difficult when you can't break blocks. The best way I have found to deal with that is through sheep. Sheep, when you shear them, they drop wool blocks. And then sheep will regrow their wool. So sheep are actually a reusable, refreshable supply of solid blocks. We've got our first sunken ship here. A few carrots, that's pretty good. Okay, I am hearing a drowned. Let's get the hell away from there. Ideally, what I am looking for, as far as biomes go, is savanna, plains, or desert. Nice, flat, open terrain where it is very easy for me to spot structures from very long distances, where it's easy for me to spot threats, where it's easy to not, just fall into like a pit somewhere. And I've consistently had luck in those biomes finding multiple villages within, relatively short periods of time. That is jungle. That is absolutely not where I want to go. Spruce forests, if I can find villages there, they can have some really good stuff. There's definitely a bias toward what types of items are more likely to be found in the villages of different biomes. Acacia biomes, for example, villages there tend not to have any wheat in their chests, whereas desert biome villages actually do tend to have wheat pretty regularly in their chests. And then the way that the villages work is certain types of buildings tend to spawn chests that have specific types of items. So, like, a cartographer's house will tend to have, like, paper, maybe maps, maybe a compass if you're lucky. A blacksmith tends to have gold, iron, either bars or nuggets, as well as obsidian blocks sometimes, maybe a bit of gear. And most generic chests in villages tend to just have food. So I think that about covers all of the major points for this challenge. So really now it's all just about luck and execution. It is incredibly easy to accidentally break blocks. Like, alarmingly easy. If you're in a village and you jump or fall wrong onto their farm, you can destroy a planted seed by stomping tilled soil. If you are in battle or if you're trying to like kill animals for food, it's very easy to accidentally hit grass. And there's just all sorts of stuff like that. And ultimately, if I ever do succeed, and given that this is my 15th attempt, that is a very big if, I do want to try and find a way to take out the Ender Dragon without breaking the end crystals that tend to heal him back up. But that may simply not be practical or even possible given my limited access to resources. So, if indeed I cannot find any way around that that can be done, then the breaking of end crystals is allowed for the purposes of that one and only fight. Yeah, so basic strat, find structures, get gear, get objects, try and establish a sheep farm so I can collect a very steady supply of wool blocks. As far as offensive options go, because I'm visiting so many structures, I actually tend to get a pretty decent supply of emeralds while doing this challenge. The highest I ever got was like 37 emeralds on one run. But very, very regularly, I will have half a dozen or more after like less than 2 hours of time in the world. One thing I can do is create a fletching table. And placing that's a pillager outpost over there, and Savannah, that's great. Placing a fletching table in a village causes a villager to become a fletcher. Fletchers can sell arrows, and they can sell like 16 arrows or somewhere around that for like 1 emerald each. And getting a bow is not difficult either. Sticks are surprisingly challenging to come by. One of the only really reliable ways is to have creepers blow up trees or houses in order to get wood. But if I could get a bow and save up some emeralds, put out a fletching table, get a crap load of arrows, then I'm honestly pretty well set for the Ender Dragon fight. And depending on how confident I am feeling, I may also try to get a creeper to detonate near a jack-o'-lantern and wear that on my head during the Ender Dragon fight. It blocks like half of my vision of the screen, but it will let me do that fight without accidentally getting any of the Endermen angry at me. So maybe it'll work. Yeah, maybe it won't. Savannah's pretty good. There's always a lot of sheep around. Alright. I am going to top off on food so that I will be able to heal and run efficiently. Oop. And we're making the run at the Pillager Outpost now. Okay. There's always a chest at the top. And they're not the best chests. But that is 5 wooden blocks. Which means I now have the ability, if necessary, to get... some wooden tools, a crafting table, sticks. It can save a lot of trouble getting those early on. Now I just need to start tracking down villages. I also got a couple armor trims, you know, just in case I decide I'd like to be fancy. I see my first village over here. This is actually one of only a few worlds where I have failed to find any villages before the first night. I shall signal how I feel about that by blowing on this horn. See, that's just fun. Oh my goodness. If I am super lucky, I'll be able to get some iron right here in my first village. But more than likely, that will not happen. Okay. Past the first night. And we've got wide open spaces. Very good to start finding things. That is so many damn sheep. That is really good. Unfortunately, creepers don't burn during the day, like other mobs. And usually the generic houses do not have any chests in them. Ooh. That's a special building, however. Also, important note, basically under no circumstances will I ever willingly traverse snowy areas. One fall into powdered snow, and I can just be permanently trapped and freeze to death. Powdered snow is absolute death sentence for this challenge. Okay, I haven't found a single chest. Nothing in there. All that leaves is this one special house. Is there any safe way down to it? Kind of. There we go. It's not ideal, but... Ah, damn it. It's a fletching table. Wait, what is that over there? Right there. Is that just two trees close to each other? Or is that a structure? I think it was just two trees. Okay. Well, that is really unfortunate. As far as food goes, I've got 7 potatoes, which are practically worthless. And 6 carrots, which are not much better. Okay. There we go. Okay, back up to full health. So, ruined portals and villages. There's a village up ahead. I don't see any sign of ruined portals around here. You never really know how rare or how frequent a specific type of thing will be in a Minecraft world. There was one time I was in one of my attempts. I was in there for an hour and I hit 8 villages. It was amazing. It was a great run. I've had several really good runs, but unfortunately, they have all ended in failure so far. Is that another village over there? I think that might be another village over there. Nothing there. They have a smithy. They have a smithy. That's a blacksmithing building. Okay, that means metals and maybe even obsidian. In order to get to the nether, I need a nether portal. A nether portal requires a minimum of 10 obsidian. Now, there are ruined portals scattered around the map. Every ruined portal has a chest, and they are almost always right on the surface and easily accessible to me. They will also have a number of obsidian. Some portals have crying obsidian in them, which is just like a different type of obsidian. But if I find a portal that's in good shape, I can use it to jumpstart my portal construction, which is really nice. I got 2 pieces of armor, which is really good. We've got a helmet and pants. Oh, that's another special building over there. Oh, it's just the furnace room. That one does not have a chest. I would have really loved to find some armor. Or, not armor, iron. I would have really loved to have found some just basic iron bars. If I can get 2 iron bars, or, 18 iron nuggets, I can make shears, and I can start collecting solid blocks by shearing sheep. Okay, there is a chest in there, and I cannot access it. That sucks. But it would have been this same type of building that we see here, so in all likelihood, it wouldn't have had anything too good in the chests. Probably nothing other than just, like, food to help me out, but food's fine. Bread is probably the best regular food stuff I can come across for this challenge. It's fairly plentiful in chests, and it restores my food meter pretty well. Getting pretty close to the next night. Was I right about seeing another village over here? Doesn't look like it. Okay. So we'll head back to that village and rest there for the night. It's important that we let everyone know that we're coming. How else will they greet me like a hero? Hello, sir. Sometimes I'll just watch a sunset in Minecraft, and I'll just think, you know, that's really pretty. There we go. Okay, second night has been passed. That lava up on that mountain is... that is gonna go so far. It's gonna take a long time for it to finish making its way down that mountain. That's a really funky mountain. Anything over here? No, it is swamp. Okay. I want to make a point, when possible, of avoiding swamps and thick forests. It's way too easy for enemies to sneak up on you there. Be very careful. We got some nice hills over here. Maybe I'll be able to spot a promising direction of travel. There's a ruined portal right over there. So that's one target location. What else? Basically at the end of the area here. Okay. But at least the planes keep going. And who knows, maybe this will be a really, really helpful portal. It looks very complete, but I'm pretty sure I can already see crying obsidian in it. Oh, it's one of the big portals. Okay. Two lodestones, flint, gold helmet, flint and steel. Okay, with flint and steel, I can activate the portal. This section of the portal is fine. So I could potentially take 3 obsidian off, from what I would normally need. I could repair that and make that portal usable with only 7 more obsidian. I also got a piece of gold armor. I can wear that in the nether to stop piglins from attacking me. So, at least one piece of gold armor is basically mandatory. Just to make sure you stay safe in the nether. And I also got the flint and steel. So, those are 2 pieces of not technically necessary, since you could find ways to not have them, but about as close to necessary as you could be. That actually reminds me, I did want to change that. I was making some other videos, and I had set the game music to play constantly. Which is not really necessary. There's a lava pool here on the surface. So I could potentially make another portal using lava and water. I am surprised how long this is taking to find a village. Sun is starting to get low. Oh, wait, no it's not. It's like only a little bit past noon. Oh, okay, I see the next village. We can get there before nightfall pretty easily. No other villages over there that I can see. Oh, this is a rather sizable village. Perfect. Bread. Bread is good. Do. Is that another blacksmith shop? I don't think so. It's some kind of special structure, but I don't immediately recognize which one at a glance. Excuse me. Nope, nothing there. Hello, child. Okay. Compass. That's good. That'll work with the lodestone. More bread, more apples, more potatoes. We will be spending the night in this village. What else do we have here? Okay. I had to make sure I wasn't going to break glass by walking into this house. I actually had one run fail because I opened a door and the door broke grass that was growing out of the floor behind it. That one really hurt because that was a very good run. Nope. Potatoes, bread, apples. Not really finding the kind of super useful loot that I actually need. But I am getting a decent assortment of various items. Sunken... Okay, village over there. That's our next destination. I didn't spot any sunken ships. Looks like there's a climbing path here. So we are now heading south. Ugh. We've got plenty of food. I can afford to just run and jump to travel quickly. Ouch. Is that a desert area over there, or is it just a large beach? Just beach. Cherry Blossom Hills. Looks like, if I had to guess, a peninsula over there. I could make a boat. Honestly, that might be the best thing. It would be the first time I've made a boat in any of these attempts. So hopefully this village will have a crafting table that will save me 4 wood. Here's a nice looking house. There we go. Bread, potatoes, apples. Hello. I would very much like a crafting table, please. Emeralds! Yes! Alright, that is currency for trading with villagers. Some villagers have a profession, which is determined by certain special blocks around, like the fletching table or a brewing station, other things. And those villagers can do trades. They will give you emeralds for stuff, and they will also sell you stuff for emeralds. I have never found a chest in the church structures before, but I always check them. I am also not seeing a single crafting table, which really kinda sucks. Alright. Let's just go for the logs. Crafting table time. Place it somewhere without grass so that we don't break anything. And make a boat. Ah, I have just realized a slight problem. This boat is now stuck in this body of water. However big or however small, it's not going to be able to escape it. Because I cannot break the boat. Kinda wish I had thought about that before I made it. Still, I absolutely can't deny that it is significantly better trying to explore this way. You know what? Let's just eat the potatoes. The potatoes are such worthless nutrition. And yet, dear God, can you imagine how full you would feel if you just ate, like, 12 whole potatoes? That would be absolutely insane. Boat time, where that is a sunken ship. I love it when the masts show me where they are. That's a ruined portal. Oh, that is really good news. God, why wasn't I making boats before? Like in the 3 or 4 other worlds where I ended up getting wood. Looks like this sunken ship is mostly intact. So it may have as many as 3 chests in it. There's also a door here But because of the way objects interact with water in Minecraft, the door makes an air pocket. Okay, buried treasure map. We got paper. Feathers. That's good. We already know that there's another chest over here. Wheat. Rotten flesh. Carrots. Pants. Frostwalker. Okay. Okay, I need to consider the ethics of Frostwalker in this playthrough. It would make ice. And then that ice would melt. But does melted ice... Ooh, that is a really, really good question. I genuinely don't know which way to rule on Frostwalker enchantments. I think I'm going to go ahead and not use it on this episode. Obsidian, iron, flint, gold nuggets, lodestone. That is so good. I actually have everything I need to build a nether portal right now. No, I don't. I'm still one iron short. Okay. After this episode, I think before I go to bed, I'm going to head over to the Minecraft subreddit. And I'm actually just going to make a post. And I will provide no argument for or against the use of Frostwalker. I will simply say that I am doing this challenge and that a possibility I had not considered came up. But that I wanted... to get the opinions of other people on if spawning ice into existence that is then going to melt counts as me breaking blocks. Yeah. Kelp can work. Potentially to turn into fuel. This is so much better for traveling. I think that might be another sunken ship. No, that's just bits of terrain. Luckily, this is a very, very sizable body of water. Hopefully, if I just sail around the coastlines, eventually I will spot a village. And at least I'm moving fast enough that it is extremely unlikely that any mobs are going to get me. The drowned are too slow. And everything else is on land. Ruined portal. Excellent. I wonder if there's anything I could do to further manipulate the use of Frostwalker to do anything else, like, clever or creative. Lodestone, golden carrots, fire charges, iron nuggets. That's pretty good. Screw you all! I'm starting to get a really, really good feeling about this seed. Like, maybe it will be the time that I can actually pull this off. But I've also felt that way, like, half a dozen times before, too, so. Can't afford to get cocky. Alright, let's get rid of some stuff. Honestly, buried treasure is more trouble than it's worth. I basically never use the bundles anyway. The armor trim, it would be fun, but it's not necessary. Maps, not necessary. An extra fire starter, not necessary. Fire charges, just not going to use them. Yeah, I think that's good. Playing this way, you really have to live like a nomad. Or at least that's the way I have chosen to do it. I do have 12 wheat. So I do have the capability of setting up a sheep farm. Whoa, okay. Whoa! Whoa, drowned with trident. Oh, God. A drowned with a trident is legitimately one of the most dangerous mobs in the entire game. Is that... Well... If Frostwalker's cheating, then I guess I am now a cheater. This is a mostly complete... portal. Oh my God. My boat is trapped. Well, Frostwalker it is. Wait. Would this break, like, blocks underneath the surface? No, okay. It is specifically not spawning on any spot that already has a block there. Okay. Good. Well, this is a very different bit of travel that I've been used to with this. None of the ice is actually breaking. Wait. Wait. If the ice doesn't actually melt? I could potentially build a very flat, controlled space for just about any purpose I might have. I still really feel like the ice melts eventually. But if I never see the ice break, I don't know. This whole thing with Frostwalker is kind of throwing me off. Okay, sunken ship. Alright. Here's this. Paper, trim, books. That doesn't really help me. Moss blocks. Definitely don't want dynamite. Again, since this is a full-size wreck, it's going to have 3 chests. And I accidentally placed a block over the top of that chest. It is now unopenable. That's great. That's really great. Also, I think all my ice melted. No! No, 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 no! God, no. God, no. Not to a trident. Crap, he is still after me! Tridents are very, very, very powerful. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Well, all of the ice broke. So... I mean, I sincerely don't know what to do with that. Like, I did not break those blocks, but I also specifically brought those blocks into existence, fully aware of the fact that they would get destroyed. But I think it's questionable if freezing water and then unfreezing water qualifies as destroying water. You know, really, really making me think this one through. Alright, let's continue the journey. This very, very, very weird journey. This is actually a great way to scout for sunken ships, too. It is usually easier to see them when you're, like, walking over. And even if a drowned does spawn underneath me, their tridents aren't going to make it through the ice layer. Is that another ruined portal? I think this might be another ruined portal. It is indeed another... Oh, no, wait. That's not a ruined portal. That's just an ocean thing. Still, an ocean thing might have something useful. Dear God! Oh, boy. Okay. Coal, fishing rod, wheat. Okay. And back to Frost. This is definitely my most unique attempt at this challenge yet. But it's also quite possible that I have destroyed hundreds upon hundreds of blocks. Does Frostwalker interfere with anything while I'm on land? I don't actually know. Any villages, anything here of note or of interest? There's another sunken ship there. I will keep going until the next night, I think. And ideally, I would like to spend the next night in a village. It is actually kind of insane that that Frostwalker boots do not consume any durability when they do this. Like, it's such a huge ability. Okay, so I think I want to take these off before I interact with the ship. Just in case I accidentally freeze, like, some important water. This may be a very rare instance of a ship with absolutely no treasure. Fascinating. Alright, well, let my long walk continue. We got some sea turtles. That's always fun. Is that an island, or is that yet another sunken ship partially sticking out of the ground? Is that another sunken ship? No. No, it is not. And that's just an island. It'll really be a shame if it ends up that people really consider Frostwalker to be breaking blocks. Because this is honestly just really kind of fun and relaxing, like, if I'm being honest. Can you do run jumping with Frostwalker? No, you can't. You do have to do just running straight. Okay. That's fine. I'm willing to accept that compromise. Is that swamp over there? Looks like swamp. But it's next to plains. Looks like there's something over there, but I can't quite make out what it is. I think it might just be some reeds on an island. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it is. Just sugarcane on a tiny little speck of land. Okay. Oh boy. It's a new moon night. Okay. That's dangerous. New moon, I believe, is when the most enemies spawn. Let's actually eat our apples. I do see an Enderman. If the ice is going to stay solid... then I could look the Enderman in the eyes. He'd probably teleport to the ice. But then I could just take the boots off and stay in the water. I think that would work. Because the Enderman won't willingly enter water. Alright. Let's give it a shot. Okay. Come on, buddy. Come teleport. Come teleport. You're just not going to do it, are you? Okay. That's fine. That's fine. We're just going to... okay. Alright. We're good. No! Oh, God! Okay. I did not know that Endermen actually will go into water long enough to attack you. And with that, I guess we have ended the question of whether or not I can use the Frostwalkers. That really bothers me. But that's okay. I learned some important information. Frostwalkers OP, and that's something I need to look into and actually make a final decision on. I now know that Endermen will step into water in order to get hits on you. And I also learned if I find wood, make a goddamn boat. So, thank you all so much for watching. That was my 15th attempt at the hardcore no breaking challenge. And now it is gone. And I will see you all on the next one.